I'm going to preview the number 20 Baylor versus Colorado women's soccer game, which literally would be played on October 5th at 1 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. Of course, there'll be bonus stats as well. I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Baylor is coming off of a 3-0 win against Iowa State, which is getting exact revenge from last year's tie with Iowa State at 1-1. Thus, Baylor is 8-1-2 overall, 3-1 in the Big 12. I kind of viewed Colorado as dangerous prior to the Iowa State game, by the way, because look at the conference standings at the time, and two, Colorado is actually receiving 10 votes according to the United Soccer Coaches poll. They are more so on my radar now, to say the least. They actually beat number 7 TCU on the road 3-1. Thus, Colorado's 9-1-2 overall and 3-0-1 in the Big 12. So as you could tell, this game is huge for a few reasons. One, in terms of conference standings. Two, rankings perspective. Because I do think Colorado should be ranked right no matter what happens with the Baylor game. Because they beat number 7 team in the country on the road. And three, this is huge in terms of NCAA tournament resume and would boost the RPI up for either team, to be honest. In Colorado, prior to that TCU game, their RPI was number 26 in the country. TCU's was number 5. Yeah, they're going to shoot up in terms of RPI, like to the low 20s. At worst, I would think. And of course, at best, it would be like somewhere in the teens. I just don't know where. And Baylor's RPI should move up with a win. So yeah. That's obviously huge. So what are some players to keep an eye on? But first things first, they only use like 2 different formations all year. They've really only used 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 forwards 2 times. Yeah, all the other 10 games, 5 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 3 forwards. Last year against Colorado was a 1-1 tie. Colorado did score first, and then Baylor tied the game up. And thus it was a 1-1 tie a year ago. So what are some players to keep an eye on? Jordan Knight's number, and you could check out the stats and I'll look on them in the description below just to make things faster and you see who started how many games. And I do not know the injury stats for Colorado or Baylor in this game. I don't. Jordan Knight's number 1, 5'7" goalkeeper. That is a senior, 7 goals allowed and 47 saves and 2 shots attempted actually. Now I will say Colorado does have 2 players that combined for 23 goals this year. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 23. The leading one, Hope Leba, number 45, 5'10" forward. That's a junior. 14 goals on 40 shots attempted and 1 assist. The other, Jace Hawley, number 9, 5'9" forward. That's a sophomore. 9 goals on 31 shots attempted and 4 assists. Yeah, that's a 1-2 punch right there. Though I know it does include some other multi-goal scorers and some other players you might need to keep an eye on in terms of like multi-assists either. So yeah. There's Emerson Lane, number 3, 5'8" midfielder. It's a senior. 4 goals and 22 shots attempted and 5 assists. Might as well go over like a multi-assist player. Neva Priest, number 2, 5'6" defender. That's a junior. 1 goal and 9 shots attempted and 2 assists. There's Callie Swiringa, Swieringa. I apologize if I butchered that. Number 7, 5'9" defender as a junior. 2 shots attempted, 5 assists. There's Vicky Zacharias, Zacharias, Number 16, 5'4" midfielder as a freshman, 1 goal and 6 shots attempted. There's Lilian Zamorano. Number 24, 5'7" defender as a freshman, 2 shots attempted, 2 assists. There's Reagan Kochua. Wow. Kotsschau. Number 33, 5'5" midfielder as a junior, 3 goals on 19 shots attempted and 3 assists. Is Faith Leba, number 44, 5'10" defender as a junior, 10 shots attempted and 2 assists. Okay. There's Ruby Hayward, number 14, 5'8" forward as a freshman, 2 shots attempted and 4 assists. That's really all the multi-assist players right there. And there's a few others that have like 1 goal this year. Just go over those real fast. Maddie Shar, number 18, 5'8" midfielder as a freshman, 1 goal and 3 shots attempted and 1 assist. That's Sammy Fisher, number 21, 5'9" forward as a sophomore, 1 goal and 4 shots attempted. And Josie Master, number 23, 5'7" forward as a senior. And I'm kind of thinking that Colorado might want revenge after last year because they really were the better team overall in terms of record down the line with Baylor because of that tie last year. However, I think this Baylor team is better than a year ago. There's no denying that. Just saying. Look at the record. Look at the conference record already. You got to keep your composure and don't have like red cards and be like 11 versus 10. If they do red cards, it's really on them. And so many yellow cards equals a suspension anyway. You don't want to do that either. You got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively. And yes, there might be some questionable calls, but you got to be more mentally tougher team. And if you do tougher team and make plays to win. I know you might face some adversity in this game, and you just got to be mentally tough and move on to the next play, 1 play at a time here. And I do view this game as the toughest home game remaining. Let's just be honest. When you look at the other two, you know why. BYU is just not as good, though. They're still NCAA tournament good, though. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of conference and overall record, yeah, that's out the door. Same thing goes for Utah. So that's and if you really want to try to move up in the standings in the Big 12, you need to protect home field. You really, really do. And I don't think going for a tie is not the goal. They want to win. Just to improve like your Big 12 standings for 1, and 2, NCAA tournament resume. And if you really want to think about winning the Big 12, you got to protect home field anyway. This is unlike the Texas Tech game. That's the only other difficult home game in terms of Big 12 that just happened. And I know they beat Mississippi State. They were ranked at the time. So, it's not like they're unfamiliar. And they even went on the road against Kansas. That was ranked at the time, and they won that game. So this team is battle tested. So they're going to know what's up, like Colorado. And I'm sure they have this game circled after what they did at TCU. First of all, it's next game. And 2, because of what happened last year. I mean, it's just telling the truth. Now, defensively, you got to shut down the best players as much as you can in this game. You got to be good in those 1v1 situations. And be good in set-piece defense, like a corner kick and a free kick. And hopefully you don't do fouls like the handballs in the box. And if they obviously do that, you got to take advantage of the PK. And you don't want to put yourself in the situation of a PK like you were against Texas Tech. I already know. Because that's the only reason why Texas Tech won that game, to be honest. It's because of a call. And they did a VAR. And no need to rehash about what happened there. But you get the point. You don't want to put yourself in that situation to begin with. Because penalty kicks are just guessing games. at the very end of the day. You try and make them turn the ball over on their own end as much as possible. You got to clear the ball out and try to start a counterattack. Offensively, make them turn the ball over enough, like when they're trying to score on you, and just start some offense and make them turn the ball over in the midfield as well. Obviously, you want to limit that. And another thing across the board, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring in this game, and whatever you did wrong last game, you got to bring into this game. I know that's Captain Obvious, but it's just telling the truth. You got to be good on your set piece offense, like a corner kick or a free kick. And sometimes the easiest way to score is corner kicks. And I know there's other ways to score, like a sequence of passes and try to set up a goal, or a broken play and you get a goal. You get the point there. You got to be good in those 1v1 situations on offense. Don't turn the ball over in your own end as much as possible, or even in the midfield. Try and get some shots up. It doesn't really matter about the number of shots, as long as you get some behind the net. You got to come out fired up and ready to go. And we'll have to wait and see about the weather as well, because if it's if it's hot, Colorado might not be used to it. So I know it's not, and because they will have like water breaks if it gets to a certain temperature with the certain humidity and all this. I know. So yeah. And you got to have your role players step up in this type of game. You got to win 50-50 balls in the air, and even a second ball, and all this. And you got to have your key players step up, both offensively and defensively. This is besides in the midfield. I know. So you get the point. You got to have your bench players step up as well. So let's go out there and protect home field, unlike TCU. And thank goodness TCU actually lost, by the way. One, it's a rival. I mean, it does help your chances in terms of RPI to move up because of a team in front lost. And two, now nobody in the Big 12 is perfect. I mean, that is huge in itself. So you got to find a way to protect home field in this game. If you do get a win here, if you do, it would only help your cause in terms of being a highest seed possible in the Big 12. And not only that, it would really help NCAA tournament resume and further solidify things, which I kind of think Baylor just needs to do is win the games that they should. In terms of like RPI wise, they should, like a Houston, an Oklahoma State, and Utah, just to be honest, like Oklahoma State, Houston, and Utah. And I know 2 of those games are on the road. I know. But RPI wise, they're not as good. You kind of had, and obviously you need to win your other home game against BYU. And obviously you really want to win this game at home, because you don't want to leave any doubt whatsoever. And this is like a revenge spot a little bit. Though last year Colorado dictated the pace, so they might be looking for revenge against Baylor, what happened last year, because Baylor was not an NCAA tournament team a year ago. Colorado was, and yet they tied with us. So, but this Baylor team is better than a year ago. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Goal to my goal is 1,000 more. So my money, this course, like video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe. That's free, the notification bell as well. And if you have a chance to put this game away, leave no doubt out there. I mean, and if you have a lead, you got to protect it, if not extend it. Yeah, like I said, we really should, in terms of RPI, you need to beat Utah at home. You need to beat Houston on the road. Same thing goes for Oklahoma State right now. That's just telling the truth. UCF is good in terms of RPI, so that game's on the road. And obviously TCU is really good in terms of RPI. And I know there's BYU and they actually tied with Houston last game, and that's literally the next game after this one. So I would not overlook this team for BYU, which I don't think they would anyway, because look, Colorado just beat the number 7 team in the country, but the highest RPI in terms of the Big 12 at the time, on the road, 3-1. I'm just saying, let's go out there, give our best shot. And obviously you don't want to give them any clean looks or clean passes while you want to get some good shots and good passes in this type of game.